Welcome back to more Guild Wars 2. Let's continue Aerthin's story.
I finished calibrating the powder-to-payload ratio. Ula's schematics were vague, so I improvised.
Ah, splendid. Here's the Herald now. Are we ready to proceed?
Be sure to observe all safety protocols as soon as I make them up.
Glad to see you, Herald. Here we stand, safe and sound above Overlake Haven, while the undead march on the field. We're outnumbered 20 to 1.
You sound cheerful despite the hopeless odds. Are the Golems ready?
I'd say the odds are in our favor, actually. It doesn't take 1,000 soldiers to win a battle. It just takes one very smart researcher.
Priory explorers do a great deal of research into abandoned laboratories, ancient ruins, tomb crawling, dungeon running. Ah, that's the good life.
Yes, Keck, that would be quite enough. You see, Keck found the original schema for these munitions golems. He's very excited to see them in action.
As am I. Is everything ready to go? Those undead are getting a little too close for comfort.
Ah, yes, sorry. Allow me to explain. These golems were originally created for subterranean expansion. They enter a tiny tunnel and then explode, creating a widened area. Keck and I fitted these models with deployable landmines. We piloted them remotely, right into the massed undead below.
Sounds brilliant. Let's see how they work.
Don't worry. We're quite safe up here, I assure you.
Now, we have to use this little thing over here.
One's knowledge cannot go beyond one's experience. Remember,
To launch a golem.
lay down the landmines before you're mobbed. Durability, not one of the golem's strong points.
Now, we get to use all these landmines. I suggest using them from a distance because you can't use them right on top of your golem self. But the thing you don't necessarily have to worry about is your golem does explode and damage enemies, as you can see here. If you do get mobbed, your golem will just explode. And you can even toss landmines right on top of enemies, but it's a bit finicky to try and get to work. Now, we do have one special ability, which is taunting the enemy, which you can use. That's your number 4 skill. And it's actually useful for drawing the enemies into your landmines. So lay down your landmine traps first, and then taunt the enemy in. A lot of the bigger enemies will have more health, but these little guys will die to your number 1 landmines. Number 3, I want to say, is the one of the more explosive rounds. Yep, that's where I figured out I could taunt the enemy. If you're really good, you can do what I'm doing here, but I don't recommend that, especially for these real big guys. In fact, getting away from the enemies is rather hard, especially when they, you know, completely destroy my mines. But once you get the hang of the mines, they're pretty useful. This is probably not the best way to take out all these undead. Probably if we'd gone with the Vigil, it'd be a lot more fun and straightforward. You know, your typical just slaughtering undead. But this gives you an idea of what the Priory tends to do. The Priory does things like this. And this is actually the only time I've seen the Priory admit that they don't actually do a lot of inventing, but instead do a lot of things with other older technologies. They steal them, and then they use them. And I'm not sure if it's just the fact that That one guy's an Asura is why they do it, which would not surprise me. Our lovely Sylvari guy is none too proud of what the Asura man is saying. Now we have to clear out all the undead on the field before we're let in. Now, despite the fact that the doors are closed, there are undead inside. So we're not done yet.
Well done. See if you can get the gate open, and we'll check on the interior of the haven.
Listen up, Lion Guard. These folk are from the Derman Priory. With their help, we're gonna take back the haven.
Now here's where things get a little more annoying, is because there are Lion Guard around, they are going to be aggroing to the point where once you're, even if you are able to lay mines down, for the most part you won't be able to get the attention of any of the undead at all. It's one of the sad parts of this mission. They give you this wonderful, actually pretty useful golem, and there's nothing absolutely you can do about it. As we'll see, I'll be able to get the attention of some of these enemies, but the Lion Guard will draw the attention right to them. See? Right there. Perfect example. They got the attention and then one of the Lion Guards distracted them. There's literally nothing I can do but let the Lion Guard take this bit down here. Unless you were really good with your mine laying, which is actually pretty hard to do. But from here on in the mission, we're going to have there's going to be a loading screen every time you die. We're just that far away.
Get up on those ramparts and finish them off.
We've got the upper hand. These golems are amazing.
Now, I've cut out these loading screens. They're very small loading screens anyway. They only last about 5 seconds. But I did that for ease of watching. Now, these enemies can actually be distracted, but you have to watch out that your explosions don't accidentally kill the Lion Guard. Because as you see there, I just killed one. You'll also notice that they just randomly spawn in more enemies. Now once the Lion Guard are dead, it's up to you, but... And that's actually one of the more fun parts of the mission, is when the Lion Guard are pretty much dead. But they do a pretty good job of distracting the enemy. Because you get to really experience what the Golem is capable of. Now the self-destruct mechanics actually play in very well. I'm glad they found a lore reason to have the things just explode. Is that these were mine-tunneling expansion golems. And they probably did their job pretty well. I mean, no one considers a golem apparently capable of being alive. That would be a bit ridiculous, I think. Now here I did something really stupid and aggroed everybody. But it's gonna work out actually fairly well for me. Now we've almost taken back the entire thing. If it wasn't for this guy, we would have taken back pretty much the entire ramparts. Now, as you can see, he's, for some odd reason, that time I was able to get his attention, whereas other times there's no way that was even going to happen. Now, these enemies are dropping some fairly nice loot, and I'm glad that even during the story missions, that's something they kept inside the programming, which is quite nice. Now we've got to finish this up by taking back the rest of the ramparts. I got a little confused and thought maybe there was something back there, and there might have been enemies back there, And that's why there could have been a sudden influx of enemies last couple times. But no, the enemies are now over here. But that's over Lake Haven, taken back.
Well done, well done! The munitions golems performed splendidly.
One's knowledge
Herald, wait!
cannot go beyond
Look over there!
experience.
Do you see that?
Most intriguing.
May your knowledge flourish. Utterly explosive! That should be all of them. Over Lake Haven will be safe, with no loss of life. Magnificent work, Kekt! The munitions golems serve their purpose admirably.
I'm extremely impressed, Eorworth. The Dermot Priory is clearly an organization that values cleverness.
You're quite correct. And this is only a taste of what the Priory offers. Think of it. Shelves as high as an oak tree, filled with lore and wisdom.
Adventure, experimentation, ancient tombs rich with, exploration.
I see. Tell me, with your vast knowledge, could you identify that strange-looking creature on the road? I've never seen anything like it before.
Sadly, no. I was wondering the same thing. If Zaitan has spawned some new horror, we must discover its nature.
Agreed. Let's return to the grove. The pale tree is waiting for our report.
So let's go back to the grove.
Whisper agents report a strange creature leading the attack on Overlake. Know anything about that, Aerthin?
Our scholars are looking into... Hey, you said your people weren't going to be there.
I said we wouldn't be involved. Not that we wouldn't watch. Do you have a problem with that?
Your order's the most untrustworthy, cowardly lot of reprobates in Tyria.
I have good news, Mother Tree. Overlake Haven is safe, and the undead have been driven away.
Valiant, I was told about the strange undead you saw on the battlefield. I think I can help you. The creature sounds like a lich. From the description I was given, I think I can identify it as Mazdak the Accursed.
Mazdak the Accursed? I know that name. One of my firstborn, Rhiannoch, went to destroy Mazdak many years ago. I armed him with a thorn from my own bow, a mighty sword named Caladbolg. Both were lost, never to return to the grove. Herald, it seems you have a chance to discover the fate of my lost son, and perhaps even avenge Rhiannoch's death.
Legend says that Rhiannoch chose a human to be his squire. If that squire survived, the Order of Whispers could find him. The Order's very good at tracking people down, even when they don't want to be found.
Untrustworthy as always. I have an alternate suggestion. As you may know, the Dermot Priory specializes in researching and recovering lost knowledge. This sounds like an exciting opportunity to experiment with a ritual we've uncovered. If cast, it lets you witness the last moments of a person's life.
The mystery of Rhiannoch's death has pained the Sylvari since the days of the Firstborn. Knowing his fate would help to heal that wound.
Branthan, does the Vigil have any suggestions?
Gathering information isn't our strong suit. Instead, I'll go ask my superiors how to kill a lich. I'll meet you back here when you're done.
Very well. Herald, the choice is yours.
And so our choice is given to us. We'll decide that next time. This is Stomping Llama. Signing out.